Hi, KO4. I have another book to read to you today on this sunny Wildcat Wednesday. I hope that you are outside or have been outside at least once or twice or almost all day and getting some sun and enjoying the signs of spring and all the fun things. I did find a book about bugs, not about butterflies, but about bugs, a bug safari. And a safari is like when you go on a trip to look for different animals. Some people take a safari to Africa to see all the animals there. And this is about a little boy who went on a bug safari. So here we go. It is called Bug Safari by Bob Varner. The events described here actually happened to me. The things I learned are recorded to the best of my memory. We can still observe and learn from the great great ancestors of the very ants I saw that day so very long ago. Well, last summer. I love the illustrations in this book. They're very, very fun and pretty. I was lost in a bug infested jungle one hot summer day. I was all alone looking for a way back to base camp when I saw a long line of marching black ants. Where could they be going? It looked like an ant safari. Was this a way out of the jungle? I decided to follow. Oh, we got some different bugs. In all of my travels, I had never seen anything like the ant safari. Some of the ants carried things to eat, such as leaves, seeds, or bits of other insects. The ant safari was in a hurry to get somewhere. The ants didn't even look up at the big dragonfly that buzzed over their heads. We headed deeper into the dark, unknown jungle. He's got a pencil, so you can see how big, compared to the pencil, how big the ants look. I crawled over rocks and through mud. I had to find out where the ants were going. The safari passed under flowers that were humming with honeybees collecting pollen. I was measuring one of the ants with my ruler when the other ant zoomed past me and a slow moving dung beetle, which carries dung, which is poop, I noticed that the ants talk to one another by touching antennae. These are their antennae on the top of their heads. They all knew where they were going. We were moving quickly, but to where and what? Then I saw them up ahead. Red ants, the black ants were fighting them. The tiny red ants were fierce and bit the black ants. The black ants stood their ground and battled for several minutes until the outnumbered red ants finally ran away. One of the black ants took charge. I called it the general. The wounded were treated and the safari continued. This is he's using a magnifying glass to zoom in. I was baking in the sun. I had a drink from my canteen. I just one sip left. The ants became very excited. They had come upon a toad sitting in the middle of their path. Most of the ants ran around it, but a few of them got zapped. Why would they keep going with all of this damage? Where could they be going? So you see the toad got this ant. He's going to eat it. Then I saw it, a giant green mantis in the bush above the ants. One of the ants was plucked up and eaten, but all of the others marched ahead. They passed under sticky spider webs, spotted beetles, and noisy crickets that made a chirping noise as we passed by. I picked my way through the jungle. I had scraped my knees and cut my fingers and needed medical attention. I braved I bravely pressed onward, hoping I would one day see another human being. There's the praying mantis eating the ant, and the narrator is injured now. All of a sudden, a hairy black spider pounced in front of the ants. The general led the safari around the giant, but I feared the worst. I hid my eyes, ducked for cover. Then, with a swishing sound, the spider was gone. I looked up to see its 8 legs wiggling in the beak of a robin. A robin's eating another ant. We were all safe for the moment. The general marched on. There's the robin with the ant. I was out of water, famished, which means very hungry, and covered with bites. Then I heard a faint sound in the distance. I was perfectly still in the brush so I could listen very carefully. A lone mosquito buzzed past my ear. Finally, I heard the call, a human voice. Base camp! Lunch was ready. To my surprise, I discovered where the ants were going. They were going to his lunch. I love a good safari, and so do the ants. Lots of cool things on these illustrations. And then at the end of the book, it talks about all the bugs that are in the book. So many. All right. I hope you guys have a great rest of your Wildcat Wednesday and you get outside and you get some fresh air, okay? I miss you all.